in the JV Mendo versus AV game. Let's get started.
The score is currently 2-1. Mendo in the lead by 1 point. We've got Maddie Grimes coming out for Violet Spinelli on the Mendocino team. And number 6, Emily Peretta, serving.
She makes the serve over and is received by Violet Spinelli, number 12. Number 10, Drew Davis, serves it over.
Oh, and Violet receives it. Violet over to number 21 on the Anderson Valley team. It goes back to Sage Calvino, who digs it. Drew lobs it over, and number 21 on the Anderson Valley team, Kiara Wallace, tries to receive it, but it goes out.
It looks like Drew Davis, number 10, is serving for Mendocino.
Okay, she's getting ready to serve. And her serve makes it over. It is received by Kiara Wallace on the Anderson Valley team, and number 23, Caitlin Espinoza, gets it over, and when Mendocino tries to lob it back over, it doesn't quite make it and rolls off the net. It's going to be Anderson Valley's game now, and Caitlin Espinoza is going to be serving from the Anderson Valley team. 3-2, Mendo in the lead by 1 point.
Her serve makes it over and scores another point for Anderson Valley.
So we've got her, number 23, Caitlin Espinoza, coming up for her next serve. She's bouncing the ball, and she makes it over. It's received by Violet Spinelli. Sage tries to save it from the bleachers and gets it back to Violet, who goes over. An Anderson Valley player makes it back over, and June passes over to Mei Lee, who sets it to Sarah. To Sarah back over. Anderson Valley receives it. Sage digs it. Mei Lee Daniels gets the set, and Lonnie on the Mendocino team attempts to hit it over, but it does not quite make it. We've got Caitlin Espinoza on the Anderson Valley team serving it yet again.
She's anticipating her serve, and she makes it over. And it is out. Another point for Mendocino.
It is now tie game, 4-4 in the first game. Now Mei Lee Daniels on the Mendocino team is going to be serving it.
She's bouncing the ball, and she hits it over. And Caitlin Espinoza receives. Sage, number 1, gets the ball, and Tessara hits it over to Point Arena. Tessara hits it over again, and there's a dig from Point Arena.
Okay, so we've got a call from the ref. That was a little bit confusing. He called it for Mendo, and now it is 5-4. Mendocino in the lead by 1 point, and Mei Lee Daniels will go for a second serve. Josephine, how are you feeling about this game?
I'm feeling good. I think it's going to be a pretty even game.
Oh, Mei Lee almost makes it over, but it hits the net. Good try. We can always come back from that, and at this point, it's fair game for Anderson Valley. So now we got Brianna Ferragara serving it. She serves it over. Sage digs it. Sage over to June, who sets it back to Sage in the back row, and she hits it over. Number 23, Caitlin Espinoza, gets it back over. Sage bumps it. June sets it. And Tessara is about to hit it, but she just doesn't quite make it to the ball, and it falls straight to the ground. 5-6, the score. Anderson Valley in the lead by 1 point. We've got Brianna Ferrara
with the serve.
for the next serve.
Violet receives over to Lonnie, and June bumps it over to Anderson Valley.
Oh, number 21, Kiara Wallace hits it over, and it is lobbed over, and Lonnie makes a good tip from the Mendocino side, and it is called for Mendocino's favor, and we've got Lonnie on the Mendocino team going for yet another serve, and Violet Spinelli is coming out for Maddie Grimes on the Mendocino team. So Lonnie goes up.
And she makes it over, and Sage bumps it to June, and Violet hits it over to Anderson Valley, and they run and try to get the ball, but it is out. Another point for Mendocino.
So we got Lonnie going for another serve. She's going pretty good at her overhand serve. So she goes up for another one, and it makes it over. It's attempted, and two people bump it back over. Maddie Grimes gets it back. June sets it into Sara, tips it over. Anderson Valley scrambling for the ball, doesn't quite make it to it, and it's another point for Mendo. And a timeout is called, I believe, from Anderson Valley's side. Everyone's kind of laughing. I don't think anybody's quite yet that stressed out about the game yet. Score 8-6, Mendocino in the lead by 2 points.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be pretty even. Everyone looks like they're pretty ready, and who knows where they'll take it. We'll see.
Yeah, so we've got the full minute timeout with 36 seconds left on the clock. Mendocino is pretty pumped, but we're kind of relaxed at this point. I think that we might be getting a little cocky from our 2-point lead. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But, you know, anything can happen. If you tuned in last night for our Point Arena or on Tuesday for our Point Arena game, you saw that it was also a pretty exciting match for the JV girls, along with the varsity Mendocino teams both won. So now we got Lonnie coming back for her third serve. Or it might be her fourth serve. Yeah, she's going on a streak. Oh, and she makes it over. Anderson Valley scrambles to receive it, but it hits the net on Caitlin Espinosa's last bump lob over. And it's going to be Mendocino's ball again, 9-6. And Lonnie is going to be serving for her 5th time.
Yeah, and she continues her streak by making it over. And Point Arena receives it well. They bumped it back over, and Maddie Grimes takes the receive, and Tassara hits it over, but it does not quite make it over, so it looks like Point Arena receives the ball.
So it's now 9-7, Mendocino in the lead by 2 points. It's a pretty even match. Number 7 just served Angela Flora. It's received by Mendo, and it's back over. It is now in the hands of Lydia Sanchez. Sanchez gets it over back. Sage makes a hit from the back row after a set from June McClure, and Mendocino gets possession. It is now 10-7. Mendocino in the lead by only 3 points, and Tassara comes out for Drew Davis.
Yeah, Sage Calvino makes the serve over to Point Arena, and they receive it and back over to Mendocino.
Oh my God. Okay, we've got number 15 just received it on the Brianna Ferguera comes over, and it's not quite over on Mendocino's side. So now we've got number 3 coming up on Anderson Valley's team, Lydia Sanchez. And Lonnie receives it. Lonnie over to Drew, who sets Maddie over, and it's not received by the Anderson Valley team, and it's now Mendocino's ball again. Okay, so now we got June McClure, I believe, about to serve, and Lonnie just came out for Kyla Marcello.
June McClure getting ready for her serve, and she makes it over with a jump serve to Anderson Valley.
It looks like Kiara Wallace on the Anderson Valley side tried to receive it, a little pop-up, and she didn't quite make it over, and is now back into Mendocino's possession, and June McClure will be serving her second one. Oh, and it is over. Tough serve for Anderson Valley. They scramble to get it back over. It's received by Maddie Grimes. Maddie over to June. June over to Maylee, who lobs it over. We now have Brianna Figueroa passing it over to Caitlin. Caitlin back over to Mendocino. Sage bumps it to June. June back to Sage, and it's over. Oh, and Point Arena tries to get it back over, but it's not quite over. Anderson Valley, I apologize.
June McClure again with her 3rd serve for this match. She's bouncing the ball, and she does another jump serve and gets it over to Anderson Valley. And Caitlin Espinosa receives back over to Mendocino. Maylee Daniels with the set, and Drew Davis with the hit back over to Anderson Valley. They set it back over to Mendocino, and Mendocino gets another point.
Between Maylee and June McClure, and it goes right down into the middle of the court. So now we've got it back in possession of Anderson Valley. It looks like Kiara Wallace will be serving. She serves it over. Kyla Marcello tries to receive, but Sage goes for it at the same time, and it bounces into the bleachers. It is now back into Anderson Valley's possession. Now we got Kiara Wallace coming back for a second serve. She makes it over. Sage tries to dig it, but it's just such a tough serve. Definitely Kiara Wallace is on fire with her serves tonight.
Yeah, so Kiara Wallace again, and she makes it close, but
make it over.
Yeah. And so Mendocino has the ball.
And the score is now 14-10. Mendocino in the lead by 4, and Kyla Marcello is coming out for Lonnie. Maddie Grimes up for her next serve.
She makes it over to Anderson Valley, and then they make it back over to Mendocino with Maddie Grimes with the return and Drew Davis with the tip. All right, another point for Mendocino. And Maddie Grimes still has the ball. She's getting ready for her serve.
Okay, Maddie Grimes, number 6 on Mendocino team, is coming up, and it is over. It's attempted to be received by Lydia Sanchez on AV, but it doesn't quite make it, and it bounces off. Not to the other side, obviously, because now it is Mendocino's ball, and Madison Grimes will be receiving again. Oh, and she makes it over. Number 19 tries to pass it back, but it doesn't. It makes it. It made it. It definitely made it.
All right, now Maddie Grimes is coming out for Violet Spinelli on Mendocino, and they are getting ready for receiving Claire Livingston's serve against Anderson Valley, and it is out. So Mendocino gets the serve.
Sage Calvino is now coming out for Tessara. It looks like it's going to be Drew Davis on the Mendocino's team serve. 17-11, Mendocino in the lead by 6 points. And she barely makes it out. It is called out by Brooke Bishop, who's doing the lines on the varsity team.
Caitlin Espinoza with the serve for Anderson Valley, and she's bouncing the ball and getting ready. And she makes it over, and June McClure receives over to Stella, and Maylise bumps it back over, and Caitlin Espinoza receives that, and Brianna Figueroa bumps it back over to Mendocino.
But when Mendocino tries to get it back over, the ref just calls it Mendocino's ball because of the confusion with Brianna's Figueroa's move underneath the net. So now we're going to have Maylee serving. Maylee overhand serves it over to Brianna. Brianna over to the middle court of Anderson Valley, back over to Mendocino. Sage Calvino sets it to June, who June sets it back to her, and she hits a back row, but it's not quite in. Now it's going to be Anderson Valley's ball again.
The score is 18-13. Home is in the lead. And yeah, Brianna Figueroa with the serve, and she makes it over, and Maylee Daniels receives, and Sage Calvino tries to get it, but it is already too far out. So
leaving the score 18-14, and now we're going to have Anderson Valley's Brianna Figueroa going to be serving it. And she makes it over. Sage Calvino digs. June sets her, and then she lobs it back over to Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley's Caitlin Espinoza hits it back over, and now Tessara is hitting it, and Stella lobs it back over. Now we've got Brianna Figueroa bouncing it back, and Maylee receives. June sets Tessara, and Tessara makes a nice tip over, resulting in Mendocino's possession again. We're going to be having Stella on the Mendocino team serving, and now Maddie Grimes is coming in for Violet Spinelli.
All right, Stella Kenton-Braden is doing an overhand serve, and it hits the net, so not quite over. Anderson Valley is in possession of the serve.
19-16, Mendocino in the lead only by 3 points. Could go any way. Oh, and now we've got Angelis Flores going over. Mendo tries to save the ball from Stella's bump, but it doesn't quite get into anyone's arms because it's now Anderson Valley's ball again. So we got Angelis Flores going for another serve. She makes it over. Stella bumps it. June sets to Sara, and Sara makes a nice hit to the center of their court. They lob it back over, and June McClure hits it from a set from Tassara. We've now got Brianna Figueroa who bumps it back over to Sage Calvino, Sage to June, and Maddie Grimes for a hit. It is now being hit by Angelis Flores. Angelis Flores to Brianna Figueroa. She makes it over to Stella, who passes it to Sage, who then June gets it. Yeah, so now we've got Lydia Sanchez. Lydia Sanchez got it back. June set to Sara, but she ends up getting the hit. Angelis Flores is trying to save it. Oh, and it's barely over. Sage digs it. Oh, and it looks like Tassara or June, it was in the middle of them, and they both kind of opted out, and now it is Anderson Valley's ball again, 19 to 18. Angelis Flores going for her third serve.
It looks like she's going to be doing an underhand serve, and she makes it over. Sage Calvino receives. Maylee picks it up from the back, and June lobs it over to Brianna Figueroa, who brings it to Kiara Wallace, and then over to June to Tassara, and then Maddie Grimes tries to hit it over, but it goes behind her.
Yeah, the score is now 19 to 19. Team tie game. So now we've got both teams kind of on edge. A timeout should probably be called soon. Angelis Flores, Angelis Flores tries to get it over, and in the middle
just like
game.
you said.
Yeah, just like I said. And it's now Anderson Valley's ball again, 20 to 19. And LaViva Dakers, the coach for the Mendocino team, calls a timeout. See, I told you it could go any way. Like, we were getting a little bit ahead of ourselves with that 3-point lead, and so now it could go any way.
Yeah, both of the timeouts are looking pretty intense right now. Looks like AV is really starting to get serious about this, and Mendocino's probably talking about maybe like getting a little stronger with their talking to each other.
This could definitely go for 3 games.
Yeah, definitely.
Full 2 out of 3, but we'll see who comes out on top on this game. But go either way.
Yeah,
really could. So Angelis Flores is returning from the timeout, ready to serve again. Oh, and she makes it over. Stella receives. June tries to make it over, and it is back to the back row. Brianna Figueroa over to Angelis Flores, who makes it over. Stella receives again. June over to set to Sara. Over, and it is received by Caitlin Espinoza. Caitlin Espinoza serves it over. June is now bumping it, and Madison makes it over. Now it's just a rally between the two teams, and June McClure and Stella are really making an effort at continuing it. Madison with a hit. Ooh, Sage Calvino with a lob over into the center of the court. That was a little confusing. It was a really intense rally. It was an intense rally. So can get a little confusing. And,
now it's a tied game, and Mendocino got their point back.
I think some key players in that was Stella, June, and Sage were really making an effort at making it over. Sage makes it over. It's received by Caitlin Espinoza. Espinoza over, who sets it to one of her teammates, who hits back over to Mendo, back over to Anderson Valley, back over to Mendo. It's happening so fast. Drew over to the back row of Anderson Valley, and she makes a block. Oh my God. It is really happening before our eyes. Lydia Sanchez tries to make a save, but it is not quite in, and Sage Calvino will be making her second serve. Ooh, that was a rough one.
She's going in for the overhand serve, which comes right over to Anderson Valley, and Kiara Wallace hits it back over to Mendocino.
Oh, and
June McClure hits it back over to Anderson Valley. And Anderson Valley hits it right into the net, so it looks like Mendocino will be serving once more. Sage Calvino with the serve.
The crowd is pretty riled up, especially we got a lot of middle schoolers up in here into the student section. So Sage Calvino is going for a third serve, and it is in. Angelis Flores attempts to save it, but it bounces off the ceiling, and it is now back to Mendocino's possession. 23-20, that really put them up. I think Mendocino is only 2 points away from winning this this round, so this could go. This is weighing pretty heavy. I think that the last few rallies, I think Anderson Valley towards the end of the game really brought it.
Yep. Definitely.
Up to the competitors' pace.
Yeah.
And now both teams are just working really hard to get their 2 or 3 point lead on either side.
Yeah, so Anderson Valley's had their times of being ahead, and Mendocino's had their times of being ahead, so we'll see what the final outcome is.
Yeah, they took a 1-minute timeout with only 23 seconds left on the clock. Mendocino's already back on the court ready, and Anderson Valley is just getting back out there. Sage Calvino has the ball ready to make her 4th serve. Let's see how this goes. She's bouncing the ball, and over it goes. It's received by Angela Flores, who calls it out, but that was Mendocino's ball. Angela Flores called it wrong. And Sage Calvino will going for her other thing.
Sage Calvino hits it overhand serve over to Anderson Valley, and Kira Wallace hits it back over to Mendocino, and Mendocino makes a return, but Anderson Valley does not get it. So that is game for Mendocino.
The first game is officially over with 25-20, a close game, especially towards the end there. So now we're going to be coming up. We have a 2-minute and 50-second break, but we'll be just talking you through this break all the way up to the second game.
We'll anticipate what the next game's going to be. What do you think, Sakota?
I think it really could go either way.
Yeah,
Anderson Valley
definitely
really showed us what they were made of in the last few minutes of the game, and honestly,
yeah, they were pretty strong comeback, I would say.
Yeah, and Mendocino wasn't quite prepared for it, but we eventually brought it back with some of Sage Calvino's serves.
Yeah, those were some pretty strong serves. Good ones to end the game with, I would say.
Yeah, like they played pretty equally towards the end. At the beginning, Mendocino had a pretty good lead on them, like 3 or 4, 5-point lead at all times. But it got really close towards the 2020 match, and there was just 5 points. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But we had some good serves on Mendocino's side, which ultimately changed it. For all you new listeners, Mendocino just won the first game, and we're going for our second game, best 2 out of 3. We could be playing 3 games today. We really don't know. It depends on the outcome of the second game. This is KAKX 89.3 FM, Mendocino, California, student-powered radio. And this is Josephine and Sakota broadcasting the JV Mendo versus AV game.
Yep, and the teams have just switched sides of the courts, and it looks like they're getting ready for their second game, which will determine if we need a third one or not.
Yeah, we've got Lauren Bishop and Rachel Malik out there bumping as the lines people in their varsity jackets. I think they're pretty excited for their game because it is senior night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you are listening right now and you are around the Mendocino area, or you're listening online, just come out here. It's senior night. Just come out here. It's
and
gonna
support.
Be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I mean, the JV game is like great and all, but like the senior night it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and it would be best if you saw it. You know.
They would love some support.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great night.
It's gonna be a really good match. So let's see how this turns out. You can see it with your eyes, or you can listen with your ears at KAKX 89.3 FM, Mendocino, California, student-powered radio.
Also, you can watch on YouTube the games on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so KAKX has really been stepping it up as the new year starts, and we started filming and broadcasting, so that might be aligned. Our voices right now might be aligned on YouTube, so that's cool. So we're going to be starting the second game now, Anderson Valley and versus Mendocino. The last game went pretty good. We got Mendocino. Okay, so now we've got Laviva Dakers on the coach of Mendocino team out there conducting, getting everyone straightened up before the game. Anderson Valley's already ready and out on the court. Currently, I am relaxed due to Kona Parker, who is You know, he's back here supporting KAKX 89.3 FM Mendocino, California student-powered radio. So now we got number 6, Emily Peretta on the Anderson Valley team starting off the match. She goes up, Sage digs it. Mei Lee sets it over to Maddie Grimes, as we'd like to call her, over to the AB team. AB lobs it back over. June McClure over to Mei Lee, who lobs it back over. And now we got Caitlin Espinoza serving it back over. We got Mei Lee setting it all the way to Drew. Drew makes a hit. Drew over back to the Anderson Valley team, where ultimately Brianna Figueroa makes it back over, and now Mei Lee is setting Drew over down. She gets it to Caitlin Espinoza. Caitlin Espinoza passes it to Brianna, and Brianna makes a hit, which ultimately leads and back to, I believe, Anderson Valley possession.
All right, Emily Peretta back with the serve. She makes it over to Maddie Grimes. And Mei Lee Daniels bumps it, and Maddie Grimes bumps it back over to Lydia Sanchez. And Brianna Figueroa hits it back over to Drew Davis, who hits it into the net. So another point for Anderson Valley.
I think she was going for a tip, but it didn't quite make it over. So now it's back into Anderson Valley's possession. The score 2-0. So we just had number 6, Emily Pereza, making another serve over. Maddie Grimes attempts to hit it, and it is in. It is an ace. It is in the corner, blindsided AV, and now we are back into Mendocino's possession, 1-2. We got our lovely crowd out here tonight.
It's looking
senior night.
Very full, I would have to say. Maddie Grimes with the serve for Mendocino and makes it over to Anderson Valley, and it hits the deck on Anderson Valley's side. So another point for Mendo, and Maddie is back with the serve.
2-2, tie game. It's going to inch its way up to the 25 mark. Maddie Grimes over to Emily Peretta. Emily Peretta over to Brianna. Brianna serves it over. Sage receives. Maddie Grimes with the second hit, and June McClure lobs it super far. We've got number 25, Candy Espinoza, sister
of Caitlin
Espinoza. So now it's going back over. We got Phoebe with a receiving end, and Drew comes with the tip. It is down, and a AV player hits the net, so it's called for Mendocino side. Maddie Grimes back with the serve. Yeah.
She goes in for the overhand serve, and it makes it over. Lydia Sanchez receives, and Caitlin Espinoza bumps it right over to Sage Calvino, and Drew Davis hits it over. Brianna Figueroa hits it back over to Mendocino, and Mei Lee Daniels hits it back over to Anderson Valley. This is a pretty fast rally here.
We gotta catch up. Sage just set it, and Drew Davis hit it back over. We've got it down in the back row with Emily Peretta. Emily Peretta back over, and now we've got June McClure and Sage back and forth over to Anderson Valley. Now we've got Caitlin Espinoza back over to number 25, Candy Espinoza, which is over, and Drew Davis makes a hit after a pass from Sage. Sage back with another bump, passes over to Mei Lee, who sets Phoebe, who makes a killer hit, but it is received by number 6, Emily Peretta, who makes it back over, and it is not quite made.
Anderson Valley with the serve. Caitlin Espinoza is coming beyond the line, and
Violet Spinelli is coming in for Madison Grimes on the Mendocino team.
Yep, so Caitlin Espinoza is getting ready for her serve, and she makes it over to Sage Calvino, and then Mei Lee sets it to Phoebe, who makes a sharp hit, but it goes right into the net. And so Anderson Valley, Caitlin Espinoza has the serve again.
Yeah, so Caitlin Espinoza is bouncing the ball, getting ready for her third serve, I believe. She hits it over. June McClure in the back row gets it. Violet Spinelli with the second bump, and Sage Calvino with a desperate lob back over. We got Candy Espinoza, who passes it over to Brianna Figueroa, who gets it finally over back to June. June to Mei Lee, and Mei Lee sets, oh my God, it's going so fast.
It's so fast. And it's finally the point for Mendo. And Drew Davis is going in for the serve for Mendocino. She's bouncing the ball, anticipating. She's getting all ready, and she serves, and it goes over. Caitlin Espinosa with the receive, and she bumps it far back, but they try to return, but it just goes right underneath the net. So Mendocino back with the serve, Drew Davis.
So yeah, Drew Davis is getting ready for her second overhand serve, I believe. And we're gonna see how that works. She passes it over to Kiara Wallace on the AV team. Emily Pareto receives it, and then now we've got Mendocino in possession. Maylee sets Lonnie. Lonnie over to the back row. Caitlin Espinosa receives, and now we've got Lydia Sanchez back over. Violet Spinelli gets it. Drew with a second hit, and Maylee with a far lob for the... Oh, it's now Mendocino's back ball. We've got now number 3, Lydia Sanchez, with the bump back over. Phoebe is back over. Back over by Caitlin. It is going fast. Oh, but ultimately Lonnie makes the tip over that results in Mendocino's ball again. Drew Davis is coming up with her third serve. She makes it over. It is now back in AV's possession, and number 3, Lydia Sanchez, makes it back over. Maylee sets it to Violet Spinelli in the back row. Anderson Valley receives it and is now back in Drew's possession. Drew sets Maylee, and Lonnie makes a hit, but is received by Caitlin Espinosa. Caitlin back over to Phoebe, Phoebe to Lonnie, and back over to AV side, back over to Mendocino side. Lonnie is back over, and now we've got, oh my God, it is going fast. Violet Espinosa, oh my God. Violet is in possession. No, she is not. This is going so fast. Phoebe is over. We're just going to say that the score is 6-4 right now.
Maylee takes it, and Phoebe tips it over to Anderson Valley, which makes it Anderson Valley's point because she had her foot underneath the net.
They kind of gave up at the end, and so when Point Arena, when Anderson Valley, by the time they got it back over, it just did not work. Yeah, so this game has been going pretty fast. It's 6-5. It's a wild game.
Yeah, very
for all
wild.
you listeners, it's just as good in real life, except you get to see it with your eyes.
And you get to commentate on your own.
89.3 FM. We have Brianna Figueroa, who just served it over. Mendo lobs it back, and it is back to Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley to Violet Spinelli on the Mendocino team, and Phoebe attempts to get it back, but it doesn't quite make it, and is back Anderson Valley's ball. We've got Brianna Figueroa serving yet again.
She is getting her serve ready, and she makes it over to June McClure receiving, but she bumps it out.
Kind of hits the ref, and the ref immediately calls it on the Anderson Valley's team because, I don't know. Yeah, so we got 6-7 now. Anderson Valley in the lead by 1. In her third serve, Brianna Figueroa doesn't make it over, so it is now back into Mendocino's possession, and number 5, Maylee Daniels on the Mendocino team is getting ready to make her first serve for this match.
Yep. So Maylee serves, and she gets it over, and well, did he fix it over?
Well, I think that was number 21.
Oh, yeah.
Kiara Wallace attempted to hit it, and it went straight out, and Maylee just grabbed it, and it is now her ball. 8-7, Mendocino in the lead by 1 point. Maylee Daniels goes for her third overhand serve, and it doesn't quite make it over.
Yeah, and so now Anderson Valley back again with the serve. Angeles Flores.
8-8.
Yeah, 8-8. Angeles Flores with the serve underhand, and she makes it over. Maylee receives, and Phoebe runs to try to get it, but it is too far out. So Anderson Valley again with the serve, Angeles Flores.
So Angeles Flores is now bouncing the ball in anticipation for her serve. She bumps it over. Sage Calvino digs it. June McClure sets it, and Phoebe is going to go for a hit. It is received by Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley hits back over to Violet Spinelli, who's set by Tassara. Tassara goes back to Violet, and it's back over to Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley is lobbed back over by Brianna Figueroa. Back to June. June hits it from Violet's set, and it is now back to Lydia Sanchez. Lydia Sanchez and the AV team makes it over, and Sage and Mei Lee go back and forth trying to get the ball, but it just goes straight off the ceiling, and it is now back into Anderson Valley's possession.
Looks like Mendocino just had a nice little team huddle on the court there, and Anderson Valley again with the serve. Angeles Flores is back, and she looks like she's getting ready to do it.
8 to 10.
She makes it
AV
over.
in the lead. Phoebe tries to make it over. Sage makes a back row hit. It makes it over to Caitlin Espinoza. Caitlin Espinoza back over to another Anderson Valley thing, and it comes right at us. It came right at us. It really just rocked our world.
Henry Thomas was almost hit.
Yeah, Henry Thomas just walked out of the building. He is upset.
Yeah.
No, he's fine. He's going to the
still
student.
in the building.
He's still in the building. He's in the student section, representing Mendocino High School. We got Phoebe now making a serve over. Caitlin Espinoza receives on the Anderson Valley team. She passes it over to Lydia Sanchez. Lydia Sanchez to Sage and Stella at the same time, who passes it back to Phoebe, and Tassara tries to save it, but it's too late, and it is now back to Anderson Valley's possession, 9-11. Anderson Valley in the lead by 2 points.
Oh, yeah. So Lydia Sanchez with the serve, and she makes it over to Stella Braden, and then Maddie bumps it over to Claire Livingston, and Caitlin Espinoza receives it over to Mendo.
Oh.
Caitlin bumps it back over to Sage, and June takes it, and Tassara hits it back over to Caitlin, who hits it to Kiara, and Caitlin hits it back over to Mendocino.
Angela Flores just received that pretty well. She takes it over for Kiara Wallace, but Kiara Wallace tries to hit it, and it's not quite over, and it is now Mendocino's ball. Drew Davis coming in for Sage Calvino, and now Sage Calvino coming in for Tassara on the Mendocino team, so we're switching it up a little bit. Sage coming for her first serve.
Yep, first serve this match, and she makes it over.
Angela Flores. Oh, it's in the stands with us now. Okay, so yeah, so Josephine just left the broadcast to go get the ball as needed, because Angela Flores on the AV team lobbed it into the side where we are broadcasting. So welcome back, Josephine. Sage Calvino makes her serve, and it is out. It is now 11-12.
Yep, 11-12 with Anderson Valley in the lead.
Kiara Wallace coming in for her first serve.
Her first serve this match, and she makes it over with her overhand serve, but it goes out. So it's Mendocino
over,
with the
but
serve. Over but not out.
No, in. It wasn't in. Okay, well, we got June McClure now coming in for her first serve. Everyone's getting their first serves. It's 12-12, pretty tight match. She comes in, she serves it over to Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley back to Mendo. Drew hits it back over and is back over to Anderson Valley. Anderson Valley, who Maylee sets it back on the Mendo team to Maddie Grimes on the Mendocino team. And we had AV try and receive it, and Lydia Sanchez knocks it underneath the net, and it is now Mendocino's ball again. June McClure coming in for her second serve.
Yep, so she's bouncing the ball, anticipating, and she jump serves it, and she makes it over, but barely.
ACE!
Ace! For Mendocino.
Mendocino. That was a pretty unexpected hit, I think, because she really gave a lot of power into her legs for that one. So we got June McClure on her third serve. Oh, and she jumps.
Whoa.
Oh, and it looks like Claire Livingston tries to pass it over, and she hits it over into the middle of Mendo's court, giving a little karma for their last ace. I think it is now an AV's ball.
Yep, and
we've got Kiara Livingston coming in for her next serve, her first serve of the match.
So Claire makes it over to Sage and to Mei Lee, and then to Maddie, who hits it into the net. So it's another point for Anderson Valley. So it looks like Claire Livingston will be back with the serve.
Yeah,
the ball is getting passed to her.
14-14 tie game. We're inching our way up. Ooh, and it is over. Sage Calvino digs it. Maddie with her second ball, and Drew with a hit. Drew over to Kiara Livingston. Yeah, pass it over to Caitlin. Caitlin back over to Mendo. Sage digs it. Maylee sets, and Drew Davis over. Caitlin Espinoza back over. Maylee with a set to Drew. Drew passes it back to Maylee, who tries to hit it, and when AV tries to get it back over, it hits the ref, and it is now Mendocino's ball.
Yep, so Maddie Grimes is taking the serve, and Kyla Marcello is going out for Phoebe, who is going into her position. So Maddie takes the serve, and she overhand hits it over to Anderson Valley. Lydia Sanchez receives and bumps it back over to Mendocino. Drew Davis with the hit back over, and Caitlin Espinoza bumps it out for Anderson Valley. So Mendocino has another point, 16 to 14,
yeah.
And home is in the lead. Maddie Grimes again with her serve.
Okay, so we got Maddie with an overhand serve. She makes it over, and it is gotten back by number 9 on Anderson Valley's team. Back to Caitlin Espinoza. Back over to June McClure on the Mendocino team, who is Drew Davis hits with a set from Maylee, and it is right over the net, and it is now back Mendocino's ball. Madison Grimes with her second serve.
Maddie is getting ready for her overhand serve, and she hits it, and it goes over, but it's right in, and they think it is out.
That was definitely a line ball.
Yeah.
I gotta say, was that a Mendocino point?
And yes, it was Mendocino point, 18 to 14. Mendocino in the lead, and Anderson Valley's coach called a timeout.
We get really competitive towards the end of each match.
It's getting pretty
the tension's
heated.
building up, and Anderson Valley's about to bring it back, and I can tell only a 4-point lead on Mendocino's side, 18 to 14. But it is not the first time that this has happened at the end of a match, and they're just gonna crawl right up.
We can't assume that anyone's gonna win, because I think that definitely both teams have a good chance of winning at this point. Both of them are really strong, and
yeah, we got Marshall Brown up here taking a picture of the media squad.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, not including us in the media,
which is fine, even though that happened to us last time.
That happened to us last time. We were very important parts of the media program, so it would be a shame. It would
be a great shame, Marshall.
Marshall
Brown.
Yeah, Marshall Brown. Are you gonna take a photo of us? Yeah, so we're gonna be posing for a picture. Oh, we are on the Instagram. Maddie Grimes resuming the timeout. Yeah, we got Madison just resumed the timeout with a serve over an ACE ace. Now it's back Mendocino's ball. Madison Grimes will be going in for her 5th serve in a row, 19 to 14. Oh, Madison Grimes gets it over. It is over to Sanchez. Back over to Angela Flores, which is back over to June McClure. Is set by Maylee. Drew Davis hits, but it is out, and it is now AV's ball.
So Anderson Valley with the ball. Caitlin Espinoza takes the serve, and Maddie Grimes comes out for Mendocino. So
Violet Spinelli now in.
Yeah, Caitlin Espinoza makes it her overhand serve over. Sage receives to June, and then Maylee lobs it over to Angela Flores, and then she bumps it over to Mendocino, to Maylee Daniels, and then Phoebe hits it back over to
Kiara Wallace. But Kiara Wallace hit it to the back instead of the front, which is a no-no in volleyball. So you're going to have to be in Mendocino's side again. We got number 10, Drew Davis, going in for her first serve of the match. We got 20 to 15. Mendocino with a 5-point lead, and Drew Davis's serve makes it over. Caitlin Espinoza receives. It is back over to Mendocino. Drew Davis receives. Maylee sets to Lonnie, and Lonnie makes it an amazing hit to the middle court, which results in Mendocino's ball again for Drew Davis's second serve, 21 to 15.
She's bumping the ball, and she makes her overhand serve, and Kiara Wallace receives it, and they have some confusion with the ball, so it hits the ground on Anderson Valley's side. So it looks like Drew Davis is back with her serve.
22 to 15. Mendocino really pulled through with a 7-point lead at the end of this match. Drew Davis's serve is up, and on the other side, some AV players bumped into each other, and it was back over to Mendocino, which happened, the same thing happened to Mendocino. They bumped into each other, and now it's AV's ball. So yeah,
Brianna Ferrer got back with the serve, and she tries to overhand serve, but it hits the net and goes underneath. So it looks like Mendocino will have the serve now. Maylee Daniels with the serve, and she's taking it out, getting ready.
23-16. We are only 2 points away on the Mendocino side. Maylee goes up for her serve, and it is received by Caitlin Espinoza. Caitlin over to Lydia Sanchez. Lydia Sanchez over for Angela Flores. Now June McClure is setting Phoebe Hunter, who makes it over, and it is attempted to be saved by Claire Livingston, but it goes out.
Yes, so...
Oh, now it's Mendocino's ball again.
Yep.
Game point, 24-16.
Let's see if Anderson Valley can pull it back. Maylee Daniels with her serve, and her overhand serve makes it over, and Lydia Sanchez receives, and it goes out.
25-16. That was game. That was the second game out of 3, which means that Mendocino won both games.
Yep. That was a pretty good match.
You're going to be hearing from HardyLee, Beak, and Cate Soboleski, I believe, for the varsity game, senior night. If you're listening right now, just come on down. Come on down.
We love the support.
Or listen on KAKX 89.3
or
FM.
live stream on Mendocino Media on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to send it down to the studio for some music before the varsity game begins. We got HardyLee, Beak, and Cate Soboleski again going to be broadcasting that, so tune into KAKX 89.3 FM, Mendocino, California, student-powered radio. It's going to be a great match. If you're in Mendocino, come on by. Some amazing teams.
It'd be great to support the varsity games, especially since it's senior night and a lot of seniors are on that team. So we just want the support. It'd be great for people to come down. It's a good time.
But again, HardyLee, Beak, and Cate Soboleski are really good broadcasters, and they're gonna do some good action up in this upcoming game. We've got the varsity players already out warming up.
They all have their warm-up jackets on. They're looking pretty ready to go. We'll see how this match takes us.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of seniors. We've got Savada Calvino, Rachel Malik, Allegra Geiger, Lauren Bishop. We've also got Emily Madden, Hannah Zarambi. I think that's all of them, but that is a big chunk of people.
Of the team.
Again, so if you know any of these people, family members, if you're listening on the radio, if you don't already know, then just come on down. It's going to be a really awesome match broadcasted by really awesome people. Cate Soboleski and HardyLee, Beak.
I guarantee that you won't be unsatisfied if you don't come down here, so.
Our student section's looking, it's filling out, not so much high schoolers, but we've got a really big clan of middle schoolers.
Yeah.
And some dedicated parents who are already.
Some grandparents I see in there too.
Yeah, and we've got some teachers out supporting.
Definitely.
I see some Mendocino High School faculty out here. We got the librarian who just retired last year. Lori Ritteman, she's out here. Yes. Oh, and we've got Serena Acker. She's out here.
She's out here. She's supporting
all the seniors for senior night. Now we're going to send it down to the radio momentarily, and then after you will hear the varsity broadcast. So tune in for some good music. This KAKX